Hello everyone, welcome to the Kiran Academy. Today we are going to see very important topic, that is package. We will be discussing many of the interview questions which are very important for this concept. These questions will be asked in an interview. You need to answer in a proper way. Let's move on to the first question. So first question is there on the screen. The question is, what is a package in Java and how does it contribute to code organization? Mean to say, let's say you know the package. What this question is saying, if you know the package concept, how it is contributing in an industry for code organization, means you need to organize code properly. So let me explain you first this concept. As this is the first question, I will be explaining that question in detail, which will solve other questions. So what does package means? Let's say, very simple, you have a lot of files, lot of Java files, and if you keep all these files in one folder, tomorrow if you want some file to be removed or accessed, then it is very difficult. Let's say this is a loan project and this is related to home loan, this is personal loan, this is car loan, this is X loan, this is Y, Z. If you want to deal with home loan, then it is very difficult to find this file over here. Therefore, package comes into picture. What happens? Package means this is home loan package, this is personal loan package. Package means folder. So create different folders. So whenever you create different folders, let's say this is related to home loan, this is related to personal loan, this is related to car loan, this is related to personal or business loan, then it will be very easy to retrieve the files, to call the files. So this is what the concept. You need to explain in this way. Package is a concept. Package means folder, which will be used to organize code properly. How that will be? As we have different folders for different purpose, we can retrieve, we can access any file anytime very easily. Tomorrow if you want to delete something, it's very easy to delete if you organize properly. If someone asks you real-time example, you can say, let's say in our system lot of songs are stored. We don't know which are old songs and which are the latest songs. But while storing, if we create two folders, one is with old songs, another is with latest song, it will be very easy to retrieve any song, anytime, very efficiently. So you need to explain this descriptive manner so that interviewer will get to know that your concepts are very clear. So let's move on to next question. Next question is, can you explain the significance of package statement in a Java source file? Yes, package statement should be written in like this: package com dot the Kiran Academy dot customer. So this is what the package statement which we need to write at the top of the any class file, any source code. It's very simple. Next question is, how do you import a specific class from another package in Java? It's very simple. We need to use import statement. Import statement should be having file name. Let me show you that also. Import com dot jbk dot home loan dot penalty. So here in this case, it's very simple. Remember, this is import statement. This is a root folder. This is a, at last we'll have a file name. This is a subfolder of com. This is subfolder of jbk. So folder structure will be like this: com will be here, then jbk will be here, then home loan will be here, and then penalty file will be here. So this folder has this folder, this folder has this folder. So this is a com, this is jbk, and this is home loan. Like that structure industry is adopting. Com means commercial, JBK is a javabykiran or the Kiran Academy, that is a company name, home loan is a project name, and then we can have different module names also, and then we can have these files. So it's very simple, guys. So let's move on to next question. Next question is, discuss the difference between the import statement and the package statement. It's very simple. Package means where you are. Import means to whom you want to use. Import statement can be many, but package statement should be only one, as one file can stay in only one folder. Import statement means multiple files you can import. Let's move on to next question. Explain the purpose of jar command in Java and how it relates to package. See, you create multiple packages. One root folder will be there, and there are multiple packages like this. Now, this is one project. Now, you want to use another project here. Like that, many files are there. Now, this project want to use this project. So, how to do that? We need to create jar file of this project and we need to import that in this project. It's very simple. Therefore, to use one project into another project, we need to go for jar concept. That is a jar command. I'll be showing that you in one of the another video how that will be used. Next, how does Java handle naming conflict between the classes in different packages? It's very simple again, guys. Let's say there is one package, this is another package. Here also we have a class, here also we have a class. This is com.hi, this is com.hello. Now here it's B class, which is under com.good morning something. Just imagine, guys. So I have B class, I have A class, I have again A class. But try to understand, this is under hi, this is under hello. So if you want to use these two classes in B class, then we need to use like this, com.hi.a. Import statement will not work in this case. A equal to new com.hi.a. So this is one of the interesting question interviewer might ask you, because if you write import statement, then naming ambiguity will be happening. If you want to use this, you need to write like this, com.hello.a, a1 equal to new com.hello.a. So these are the ways to resolve the conflicts. Coming to next question. Can you provide an example of using Java naming convention for packages and why are they important? Yes, there is some standard, the standard which I already told, but in short I will tell you again. So firstly we'll write com or maybe 𝐷 or maybe educational website or something, or org if it is an open source. Then com means commercial. Then we mostly write company name. So here the Kiran Academy. Then we write project name, home loan. Then we write module name. So this is home loan project. Then we write module name, penalty maybe. Then we write sub module name, and then we write class file name. So this is the industry standard. These two things if you write, people will get to know whether it's a commercial project, whether this is developed by the Kiran Academy, and this is a project, and this is a project which is related to home loan. Let's move on to next question. What is package in Java and how does it contribute to code to the organization? I already told this in previous question. This question is repeated, I think, so I'll skip this question. Describe a situation where using packages in Java significantly improved the organization and readability of your code. I already told you in previous questions this thing. How it is been organized. We want to remove something, it's easy to remove. We want to access something, it's very easy to access. It's very easy to locate something. So this was the last question, guys. Now let's move on to next video where we'll be discussing more and more interview questions. I hope you are understanding all the interview questions I'm covering right from the first session to the this session. I hope you will be going through every question very thoroughly. This series is for experienced as well as freshers. To access more and more videos, to access more and more courses, log on to the Kiran Academy and get any course which is listed there. Today we are going to see interview questions, very important questions on access modifier topic. So let's start with the first question. What are the access modifiers in Java? So there are total 4 access modifiers in Java, that is public, private, default and protected. We'll be explaining all these access specifiers in subsequent questions. So this is the first question. What are the access modifiers in Java? There are 4. If you want to know the meaning of access modifiers, this is for variables, methods and class. These are the 3 things in Java which are very important. Sometimes everything is not accessible to everyone. For example, let's consider a real-time example of our home, our family. Everything is not exposed to outer world. Some things which are secrets or maybe exposed only to our society, or maybe something which can be exposed to only neighbors. So similarly, map all these things which I told you in real time with the class, variable, method. Some methods might be everybody need. Some methods might be only inside a package. Some methods might be inside only class. Some methods might be only inside subclasses. So altogether, we use access modifiers just to control method, variables and class. So this is a descriptive answer for this question. What are the access modifiers in Java? This was first question. Let's move to second question. Second question is, list the 4 access modifiers in Java. I already covered in previous question. There are 4: private, protected, default and public. Next, explain the public access specifier, or we can say access specifier also. Sometimes we can say access modifier as well. The public access modifier means that class can be accessed anywhere. Variables, methods, if they are public, then also they can be accessed anywhere in a project, in another project as well. Explain the private access modifier. We use private access modifier if you want to use something inside only class. Means if any variable is private, you can only access that variable inside that class only. Many a times, interviewer may ask you when you may want to make things private. If you say only to protect, it should not access outside, that is not a sufficient answer. Sometimes you need to say, let's say, I'll demonstrate this thing. This is very important. Let's say there is a class A. This is a very important example. You can always tell to the interviewer. And if there is a method private M1, then private M2, and there is another method public M3, then these M1 and M2 can be called from here. That means what? Instead of writing code inside public method, what we have done here, we have divided that code here. Means to achieve code distribution, we use private. So this justification, what I have given, this is completely industrial. This is the industrial purpose. Many times we say, no, it is not accessible outside, but that is not sufficient answer. Let's move on to next question. Protected access modifier. Many times this has been asked because this is one of the difficult than other 3 access modifiers. Protected. Protected means the variables or methods which are protected can be accessed inside the same package, but in another package as well, provided the calling class is a subclass of a class where protected member exists. Try to remember, don't say in other package from the subclass. No, that's not a correct answer. We need to call protected member with the help of subclass only if you are in the other package. Next, explain the protected access modifier. I think this question, protected access modifier, we have already seen the answer for it. Next is default access modifier in Java. Default means all the members which are default are accessible within the same package. Might be class, might be variable, might be method. It's very simple. Can a top level class be declared as a private or protected? Answer is no. Class can be only default or public. Remember. What is the difference between public, protected, default and private access modifier? I already told you in previous questions, but still just to give you overview of all these things. Simple. Let's say these are the 2 packages, package 1 and package 2. Let's say here some variable is public. This is X class, this is Y class. So this is accessible here, here, as well as in other package Z. So this is public. If it is default, then only accessible within the package. Public means everywhere. Public can be accessible here as well as here. But default is accessible only within a package. If it is a private, let's say this is private, then only accessible within the X class, not outside. If it is protected, then it is accessible here as well as here, provided Z is subclass. So remember, in this way, diagrammatically, you can take screenshot of this if it is needed. But this is just I tried to explain you in a simple manner. Let's move on to next question. Can method have a higher access level than the class it belongs to? Practically no, because there is no sense of making it. First, outer box should be public. I mean to say, if class is default, variable and methods are public, doesn't have any sense. So you can explain that way. What is default access modifiers in Java? I already told you, if you want to access variables and methods inside the same package, then you should be having that as a default. Can interface have an access modifier other than public? No, all variables and methods should be public there. How does access control work in inheritance? It's very simple. If we have class A, that is superclass, and if we have class B, that is subclass. Only if both are in the same package, then default things will be inheriting here. If both are in the different packages, then protected, if it is a subclass, then protected members will be coming here. Like that you should bring. If something is private here, then it will not inherit it. So consider, even if inheritance is there, things which can be inherited will only be inherited. It depends on the access specifiers. What is the significance of access modifier in context of security and code maintenance? This is last question. Code maintenance means, see, if you want to make something private, it should be private. Because if you make it public, then others start calling it, and then in future you get to know, oh, this method should not have been used somewhere. Then it will be very difficult to control that. Therefore, give proper access modifiers so that our maintenance will be reduced. Code complexity will be reduced, because 100 people will be calling, and then removing that code is very, very difficult. Next question is, what is the significance of access modifier in context of encapsulation? Try to understand. Encapsulation means binding of data into a single entity. Now, when you bind it, it should be really getting bound. How? Means if there are global variables should not get accessed by others, so that they will not put invalid values. So that is what the encapsulation. In encapsulation, you have your variables private and you have public getters and setters. And to achieve that, this private public which I am saying are the access modifiers. So how you should be explaining this question? Yes, there is huge significance of access modifiers while achieving an encapsulation, because we need to use private variables and public methods to access those variables. So that's the answer of this question. In this video, we are going to see interview questions on constructor. This is very important topic in Java. Constructor means having same name as that of class name, and it is similar like a method, except it doesn't have return type. This is just a brief introduction of a constructor. So let's move on to the questions. So first question here on the screen, what is a constructor in Java? So very basic. Constructor, it is a special method where doesn't have a return type and same name as that of class. Let me show you the example just to make things clear before going to next questions. So let's say there is class A, then this is a constructor because name is same. This name and this name is same, and there is no return type. That's why it is same. So it's very simple. Okay, so moving to next question. How is constructor different from a method? Yes, it is different from method because method has return type. In constructor as well as in method, you can write any kind of logic. That is not a problem. But from method, you can return something if you need to. From constructor, you cannot return anything. Method can have any name, whereas constructor must have same name as that of class. Method can be inherited, constructor cannot be. Method can be overridden, constructor cannot be. So remember these differences while explaining this question's answer. Next question, can a class have multiple constructors? Yes, answer is yes. Anyway, default constructor is there, and you can have multiple constructors as well with different arguments. It might be called as constructor overloading. I'll show you the example. Let's say there is class A, we can have multiple constructor as well. This is default constructor, and we can have another constructor like this. So multiple constructor is also possible. This is first constructor and this is second. What is the rule? Rule is very simple. Argument should be different because it's like a overloading. Next question. Explain the difference between a default constructor and a parameterized constructor. Just refer my previous question, you will get an answer. But if I want to say something about this, this is a default constructor. Now what is this default constructor? It's a automatic. But when automatic? When you don't put any kind of constructor. That time it is automatic. It's very simple. Automatically JVM will be putting there at the time of compilation. Automatically constructor will be put into the bytecode. Can a constructor have a return type? Answer is no. If you give return type, it becomes a method. It is treated as a normal method. You need to call that method by creating an object as that of ordinary method. It's very simple. No, it's not possible to have return type in a constructor. How is a constructor invoked in Java? So constructor invoked by using like this, A new A. So here constructor will be invoked. Automatically this constructor will be invoked. If you write like this, then this constructor will be invoked. So it's very simple. Argumented constructor we invoke by putting in parameters, arguments, whereas default constructor without putting in arguments. So let's move to the next question. What happens if you don't provide a constructor in class? Automatically JVM will be putting in constructor. Constructor access specifier same as that of class they will be putting, and there will be no arguments inside a parameter. Can you have a both default constructor and a parameterized constructor in a same class? Answer is yes. Refer my previous questions. The clarity will be there. Explain the concept of constructor overloading. Same which I told you. This is constructor overloading, which I already done here. This is constructor overloading. What is happening here? One constructor have different arguments, another have different arguments, both having same name. Being a constructor, obviously it will be having a same name. Very simple. Next, can a constructor call another constructor of the same class? How? There are two ways. One, if you refer my another video of super and this, there you will be getting this answer. But still I want to explain this to you. This is one constructor in a class and this is another constructor in a class. So there are two ways. One is simply do like this. The constructor will get called. Another way is like this you can do. This will also call. I mean to say from here also this constructor will get called and from here also this constructor will get called. Only rule for this is you must have this line at first line of constructor. Refer my this interview questions video. There you will be seeing that answer. Moving to next question. Next question is, what is the purpose of static block in Java and how it is related to constructor? This is very important. This is very important. Let's move on to this question in detail. Class A is there and there is a constructor like this. So whenever you are creating an object A new A, this constructor will get invoked. But before to that, if you have static block, then this block will get invoked first and this will get invoked later. This is a sequence. We think that constructor will only get called first, but that's not true. Static block will get called first. Move to next question. Now the next question is, explain the difference between instance initialization block and a constructor. We have already seen static block. Now, in this question, how we need to tackle? See here. This is a constructor that you already know. This is static block. Now, let's say we have three things in a class. Like class A is there. There we can have constructor also. There we can have static block also. And there we can have non-static block. Then what would be the sequence if we go for calling it? This is very tricky question, guys. So you should be explaining it very properly. So let's say I create an object like this, A, new A. In this case, what is gonna get called first? So first will be this, second will be this, and third will be this. So this is a sequence. Static block will get called first, then non-static block. This is non-static or instance block. Object level. This is class level block. So what would be the sequence? First static block, then non-static block, and then constructor. If you create again one object, this is one more tricky thing you should be explaining to interviewer. Then remember, this block will not get called again, because this is already got called by this line. So what was first output? 1, then 2, and then 3. Now, when again you write this line, in that case, this block will get executed and constructor will get executed. This will not get called again. It's very simple. Move to next question. Next question is, and this is the last question. Can a constructor be declared as a private? Answer is yes. What is the significance of making private constructor? See, if constructor is private, I'll explain this. This is very important, even for experienced people. Class A is there. If you make it private A, now no one can call this constructor. That means no one can create an object from outside. But from this class, obviously object can be created. So this is one thing. If you want to stop others from creating an object of your class, you must be making your constructor as a private. Another thing, if you are an experienced person, then another reason you can tell, to achieve singleton design pattern. To achieve singleton design pattern, you can use private constructor. On singleton design pattern, we'll be bringing new series that you can take from our website. So this is all about our questions for constructor. Those are very important. I have covered for freshers as well as experience. Thank you.